Good morning, Year 3. Here's your remote learning for this. For today's lesson, your grammar, you're going to be comparing different sentence types. So you're looking at exclamations, commands, statements, and questions. For your English this week, we're looking at non-college reports. So for today, we're starting off by looking at the features and unpicking what they are so we can put them into our own writing. Moving on to maths for this week, we're still continuing with 100. So we're looking about how that 100 can be divided using different pictorial representations and then using those groups to help us solve the challenges and the problems. For history, we're learning to understand chronology, so it's about putting events in order, thinking about our theme, the Stone Age. So you're going to be using these events here and you're going to be creating your own Stone Age timeline. Then, as it's a double lesson of history, we're then learning to understand the past. So have a little look at these video clips and then use that information to sort these statements into true or false. Moving on to Tuesday, you're going to be, for your reading lesson, retrieving information from a text. So you're going to be using this text and then answering the questions in the learning activity by ticking whether they are true or false. For English, we're learning to compare the layout of a non-chronological report. So you're going to be looking at two different types and then comparing them, seeing which one's better and which one do you think would work best for your own non-chronological report. For maths, we are learning addition facts can be used to calculate complements to 100, so using your number bonds to 10 to help you with number bonds to 100 and looking at the similarities there. For PSHE, we're learning that diet is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle, so we're looking at what we mean by a good diet and the different food groups there are. You're then going to create a survey. You can either use people that you live with or family and friends over the phone to see what food groups they have for lunch on a daily basis. Moving on to Wednesday, your reading activity is again retrieving information from an information text. So using the text there and then having a go at these questions by matching up the information. English, we're identifying technical vocabulary in a non-chronological report. So we've got some examples here with polar bears, and then we're moving on to our own where you're going to have to highlight the technical vocabulary. For maths, we're going to be using those addition facts that we learned about yesterday to help us solve some problems. For science, we're going to compare how different things move on different surfaces. So we're talking about a force meter, so you can read that information there. And then for your activity, you're going to be doing a bit of an experiment where you can use different surfaces in your house. So I've given some examples of some ones that you could use here, but have a look around your house, see what you can find, and then you're going to order them. One being the one, the surface that has less friction, so it's quite difficult. It's quite easy to pull your object along, and then 4 being the surface that has the most friction, so you found it quite tricky to move that object along because the friction is stopping. Thursday's grammar is continuing with retrieving information. So you're going to use that information and the clues to find out the rock pool inhabitant that has those things. For English, we're going to be looking at the introduction and thinking about why it is its purpose, and then we are going to be discussing which one is our favourite out of the ones that you have been given there. Moving on to maths, we're going to be reasoning today, so thinking about what we've learnt so far about our number bonds to 10 and how they help us with our number bonds to 100. We're going to be looking at these pictures below and you're going to be telling me whether if you agree if they represent 100 or not. Your reasoning comes with that word because, so you need to tell me why. For RE, we're going to be looking at symbols and understanding what a symbol is. So you're going to be coming up with 3 objects that would symbolise the character that you're thinking of. So I've got some here as an example. And then you're going to be looking at these artifacts and then answering these 4 questions about each artifact. So who uses them, what they're used for, how they're used, and why they're used. So it's using a bit of your inference skills as well. For art, you're going to be recognising and describing cave painting, which is linked to our topic, the Stone Age. And then finally, coming to Friday, we're starting off with a spelling test. Moving into English, which is joining letters correctly. Maths is we're learning to link noun calculation facts to form 100. So we've looked at number bonds, and now it's looking at those 2-digit numbers and a single-digit number to get ourselves to 100.